Hello guys, welcome here. I hope you're doing good. I don't know if you're still arriving. So yeah, today we have a lot of things to talk about. We have some amazing guests, and I'm gonna give you the planning in a few seconds. But before doing so, I wanted to talk about something. We created the Twitch channel for a few reasons. The first one is that we really wanted to give Chase Dad fans something new about the sport, like that they can watch every single week. Obviously, we'd love to have conversations with you, and we felt that the TV shows and the YouTube, etc., didn't allow us to do this. So we're super happy every time we have any chances to have conversations with you. And the third thing is we wanted to experiment new formats, new segments, some analytical segments that are going to come in the upcoming weeks, things like the DTR show or TV shows in general. So starting this week, we're going to try to divide each shows into 3 parts of 30 minutes for a few reasons. The first one is that it's a good training for us. Obviously, it's going to help us creating some shows that are always quite dense and interesting to watch for you. It's better for our guests because then they know how much time they need to give us. And yeah, bonus side, you're going to be able to use the little breaks between each part to grab water or do other things. Anyway, for today, very simple. In the first segment of the show, we're going to have Mr. Christian Devaux that is taking time off, is planning to come here and talk about the US Championship with us, all of the new rules, all of the transfer rules, etc., like everything that is going on in the chase tag world right now. In the second part, we had an interview with ParkourMAN earlier. They were not able to come during the live because it was too late for them because of time difference. So we were able to ask them a couple of questions. We did ask them the questions you sent us on Instagram, and we filmed everything. So you're going to be able to see that interview. And in the last part of the show, we're going to reveal all of the rosters from the US Championship. And it's going to be a chill time between you and me. We're going to be able to have predictions about like who should be winning, to talk about all of the changes, all of the tea of chase tag, pretty much. So now let's start right away. Please welcome Mr. Christian Devaux. Hello, sir. Thank you for
Hello.
joining us tonight. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
Hey, we have a lot of review today and not too much time in front of us, so we'll keep the conversations about food for later. In just a bit more than 3 weeks, it will be the start of the WCT 7 US qualifiers at Momentum. You can go pick up the phone if you need to. So yeah, in 3 weeks, it's going to be the start of the WCT 7 US qualifiers starting at Momentum. It's a brand new format, East Coast and West Coast qualifiers, and then a final, which is super exciting. It's also the first time that official event will happen in the local gyms. So my first question is, what motivated all of these changes?
Yeah. So for us, they were like we always wanted to do more events. Yeah. And now that we had like the chance to have the gyms, dotted around like the US, it was a good chance to be able to do that. For us, part of building the community, the athletes want to do more events, the fans want to see more events. So this was a good opportunity to do that for everybody, but also create a bit of a spotlight on the gyms themselves. So it's always, whenever you're starting like a new sport, it's always difficult without having like public funding to help you do that. Is to like
Questions?
to just put on events and do it. So with this case, we have the support of the gyms themselves, and it's a with America being as it is, it was always like right to have like a series, and it's an opportunity to see like
Yeah.
the teams compete more than just like once or twice a season. And
Yeah,
so
that's what
hopefully this
they
series,
they they tried to do last year as well with the US series. So Clement is at the production tonight. Could you show us the map dividing all of the teams, and it's going to be, yeah, West Coast and East Coast. So the West Coast is where the first qualifier will happen. We will give you all the dates right after on the 26th of April. The teams that will be playing will be Hollywood Freerunners, Tempest, Vanguard, Apollo, and Apex Moon. Um, well, with Schedule 1 as well. Okay. Is there a reason why you did spread the map like that or not?
we just wanted to make.
Okay, okay. Hollywood isn't playing. My bad. Sorry. Hollywood is on the map, but they're not playing. They're gonna come only forwards. So yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, we just wanted to make the divide as even as possible. Yeah. And it's always a bit of that. If you look at various sports in America, you always have like that divide changes like that, like depending on whether it's the Major League Baseball or the NFL or the NHL or whatever.
Okay.
And so for us, we wanted to make it as even as possible, and that's how we did it. We initially had the north south line, a little bit further to the east,
Okay.
but there were some difficulties with some of the teams and that sort of thing. So we put it like that, and the
Okay.
divide is not quite of the teams that we're choosing as part of the series. It's not quite an even like 6-6 split. It's a 5-7 split. But that's
Okay. So
that's the
so then my next question would be, what is the format of the competition? You said 7 teams will be in the East, I'm assuming, and 5 on the West.
That's
Is it
correct. Yeah.
what? Okay, and so is
Yeah.
it round robin? Every teams are playing each other.
It's going to be a straightforward round robin. Yeah, straightforward.
Okay,
So the round robin gives on the West Coast it gives 10 matches, but it gives
okay.
on the East Coast 21 matches. So that would be a slightly longer event that will
Oh, so it's gonna
last
be spread on 2 days. Okay,
over 2 days. Yeah, and
and so, f-
it's a little bit
uh,
more
uh,
complicated because with when you're playing 21 matches, it means that there's going to be one team. You try and get it so that you play like so with when you're doing round robin, everyone plays everyone. So if you have 7 teams, that means you play each team plays 6 matches. So you would want to have it like 3 on each day, but there has to be one team that has to play 4 on one day and 2 on the other. So what we'll do is we'll
okay,
just allocate the various matches, and then we'll just assign a team like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think the way I've done it on the spread, like team number 5, whoever gets picked out of that as team number 5, that team, that sort of unlucky team,
we'll
will
have
have to
to.
play 4 on one day and 2 on the other. But we don't know who that will be.
Okay, and so how many teams are going to qualify for each qualifiers? So if you have 5 teams, is it 3 teams, 4 teams that are going to
It's going
qualify
to
to the
be
final?
yeah, we if it was 6-6, it'd be nice and easy. We'd do like like four in
Four and
each.
four.
But the way it is, we would if it's 5 and 7, we have to try and make it as fair as possible. We're going to put on the East Coast, we'll have 4 teams that will qualify, and on the West
Okay,
Coast, 3 teams will qualify.
okay,
And then the last spot will be given to what we feel is the best performing team that deserves to be at the final. So
okay,
it would be,
okay.
and it would be between the fifth place team in the East Coast and the fourth place team in the West Coast.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
So can we check the dates again and the times for the West Coast qualifier, which will be the perfect. Also, AGKS. No, it's not Loic. Clement is with us tonight, showing us all of these amazing graphics and stuff. So these are the time if you want to watch the competition. For those of you who are not familiar with our Twitch channel, we're going to be covering all of these events each week before and after the events. And overall, if you want any news about Chase Tag, some might say that I'm biased, but I think you should come on that channel because we always have the official news. And for the East Coast qualifier, it's going to be the week after this one, so it's going to be the first weekend of May. Could we have the dates for the East Coast qualifier, please? Yeah, perfect. So it's going to be the 3 and 4th of May. These are the time if you want to watch the competition. So my next question is, so I'm not going to lie. I don't really like competitions when there is not too much things at stakes. And I was scared that finishing first during these competitions or second or third wouldn't change much. But I heard that there is a twist. So what happened if you finish first to any of
Yeah.
these
Well, I
competitions?
mean, first of all, let me talk in the bigger scheme of things. When you finish first, it's always better to finish first because of the way when we assign at the World Championship, when we assign teams, how we did it
Oh
last
yeah.
time, and probably how we'll do it again is, you rank and last World Championships, it was easy to rank the top 4 teams. So you had 4 groups in the open division, and like the top 4 teams were going, and they in the way the draw is like on half of each side, 1 and 4 will be on one half of the draw, and then 2 and 3 would be on the other half of the draw, right? And it
Okay.
does help if you're number 1 ranked team. Well, in this case, it would be Hollywood, yeah. And then because they were like world champions, so it does the higher rank. What you don't want to do is sometimes you end up being ranked in a what's called like a group of death. And I think
Okay.
last year that group of death was like it was group number, I think it was B. It
Yeah, I
was
would say
like
be with
Kimio,
Kimeo, Urban Corp,
like Charity,
Dexterity. Yeah.
and you kind of like you don't want to be in that group. And so having the rank kind of change it. But you never know. Like there could be a new team that's come up, and it turns
Mm.
out that that's the group of death, like it was at the WCT five World
What
Championship,
five?
where it was
Yeah.
Parkour 59, and and that like no one suspected that was the group of
I
death
was I was
until
going to
in
say,
kind
yeah, I
of
was going to
rare
say
event got knocked
you
out.
had the
So
Hollywood GNF Eugen Overground group that was quite solid as well.
yeah.
But yeah.
So you never
So
quite know. So it does help, but there's something else, a little twist with this as well. And so
okay.
with this particular group, I believe you have a graphic that will come to show, but the winning, the major advantage is if you finish first, you control, and the control that you get is you can pick from the two winning teams can choose a team that they either want to avoid or that they do want to play, right? And it's a bit of a fun thing, but it can be telling if
Yeah.
a, someone doesn't particularly like, oh, I want to avoid them at all costs, or I want to play them at all costs. So you can choose. Maybe you choose, oh, I definitely want this lower ranked team to be in my group, or I want to avoid those team, like because like whichever one it is. And again, sometimes it's a decision that they can make. They can get that decision wrong, and it's interesting. It's just a talking point that we have amongst the teams, amongst
I
the people like
yeah.
yourself that are talking about the sport, the
I really like that
commentators.
because I feel like it brings an extra layer of strategy coming to the competition. Like, if a team is trying to avoid you, what does it mean about your team? What is their plan? Are they trying to face you in semifinals and stuff like? There is so much to talk about. So I was super excited about that rule change. I'm
Yeah,
also obviously watching a lot of esport, and that's something that I'm quite comfortable with because that's very common in esports. But yeah, I feel like that's a brilliant idea, and I cannot wait to talk about this.
one of the things that
But
we have as a new sport is that we're not bound by tradition. Like, oh, we don't have a bunch of fuddy duddies with an old ancient rule book that says, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, and it will
mm,
kill the game. And there's that. Like, if we see an idea or we hear about an idea that we think is good, this idea didn't come like from myself or Damon. It was like suggested, and we thought, okay, yeah, that sounds great. Let's try it. If it
yeah.
works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's not going to be the sort of where there's a rule change that has an inherent effect on the sport itself. We have to be much more careful. But with
Mm.
this is kind of a bit of a fun thing that's just as
Yeah,
good to
because
see in
it
content.
doesn't change anything within the game. It's like between events and it's an extra layer, but it's not going to change the rules of chase tag as a whole. So I think this is a good idea for chase tag that is still quite a young sport to try new things and see what works and doesn't work. Um, so there is also another change of rules that athletes talked about quite a lot, which is the transfer rule that did change between the end of the last season and this season. Is it possible to review the rule quickly and
Sure.
see what motivated your
Yeah, I mean, like the
desire
transfer
to change
rule,
the rules?
we had a bit of criticism from like the rule change that we put last year, and so we thought about this one like a little bit more careful. And over as the sport develops, like there will be times when we will have to change the rule for like various reasons in it, and the transfer rule is as well as the other kind of rules. It's difficult to keep everybody happy, but these are the rules we decided to put in place for what we felt was the best for the sport and the development of the sport itself. So, at the beginning of the season, you need to submit a roster, and all teams need to submit a roster, but prior to the first like national, and that's all teams that are competing in that first national, like WCT event, pyramid event,
Okay.
plus the top eight. The reason why it's the top eight is because there's a slight advantage if being those top eight, they have a bigger draw. And so we felt
Yeah.
that them committing their roster early on it took away the advantage that they can pull from other teams, seeing
Mm.
how the season developed in the early stages. Um,
Yeah.
the second
That
thing is
that was I was going to say that was one of the, in my personal opinion, that was one of the problem that happened with WCT 6 is that I feel like the major teams could get the best player from each teams before going to Worlds because the rules were very different back then. Um, to answer to you, AGK, yes, APK will still be there. They're gonna send both of their teams, but they changed their names. But we're gonna review all of the rosters later, and you will see overall it's the same players. They're just rebranding pretty much. So yeah, so now the big teams are not allowed to just get the best player from all the smaller teams. So there are
Yeah.
two transfer windows, one
Yeah,
before the
there are a few other
nationals.
there are a few other like little nuances. So I'll try and breeze through them quickly, so that because it's rules is boring. No one wants to hear someone just prattle on about rules. But yeah, there's two transfer windows. One is a preseason window before the first, and then one is a mid-season. You're
Okay.
allowed one transfer per window for active WCT athletes. Now, active WCT athletes are athletes that competed in the current season or have put a roster in for the current season, or they competed in the previous season. And so that's an
Okay.
active WCT athlete. The other kind of athlete, if you haven't competed, if you're not in a roster for this season or you didn't compete last season, you're classed as a new recruit. So even someone like Jason Bergeron, for example, with the experience that he has, night of flight status and everything, he'd still be regarded in this season because he didn't compete in WCT 6. He'd still be regarded as a new recruit. Yeah.
Okay.
So each athlete themselves can only transfer once per season. Yeah. So that's all relatively straightforward. There's a slightly nuanced thing, and that's with the formation of new teams. So a new team can have any number of new recruits in their team,
Okay.
and they can have up to two active WCT athletes, but only
Okay.
one of those can be from a top eight team.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
And that's at the beginning of the season. They can also then utilize the mid-season transfer window if they wanted to get a second one. The normal rules apply, and
Okay.
that's about
That's
it.
that's
Um,
that's nice. I feel like that's a good way to protect, in a way, teams that are trying to grow talent rather than make the big team like stronger. So Frank is saying, for context, Nimbus and Euro, I hope that's how you say it, are no longer affiliated with APK as a company. We still have much love for everyone at APK, but wanted to explore different avenues as independent. Guys, we're going to review all of the rosters in the third part of today's show, so we're going to have plenty of time to talk about this. But yeah, I love the fact that you're trying to push like gyms to grow talent the same way you're doing with the WCT Academy. I feel like it's the same way you're trying to create a new generation of athletes and bring more people to the sport. While we're talking about the WCT Academy, did you have any chance to watch some of the footage from France or Japan?
yeah, yeah. I mean, Damien actually went to Japan. So Damien was there
Okay.
at the one last year. Yeah, some of the WCT Academy events in Japan, China. Like in China, they do really big events. They had like 200 kids at the one in China, and there's a company called Wansi that's really developing it. And Kyla and Martino are working very closely with them to do like WCT like Academy Asia over there, and so that's working really good. The event that I saw at Urban Core was just unbelievable. I mean, that just blew me away. Like the talent of some of these kids, you know. Forgive me if I can't remember the names, but I
Ah,
saw there was one
that's all
kid that I
right.
really liked. He was quite. I think he was. I'm not sure if he was like shorter than the others, or he was just younger. But he was going under the
Going on
sisters
the
without touching the
yeah,
coach's hands. You know, I was just like, and he was so fast and agile. It was incredible. I was absolutely blown away by
yeah.
it.
Yeah. So I don't remember the dates, by the way, but if you want to watch the second event of the WCT Academy in France, it should be in May, if I'm correct. If Clement could give us the date, that would be lovely. But yeah, I'm curious to see like what's gonna happen with them. The 24th of May, that's the date. That's the next event. Great Ball and Turn Down for Walt will be there to commentate, and obviously, once again, we're gonna talk about it in that show. Guys, if you have any more questions for Mr. Devaux, feel free to ask them now, because we're going to be leaving in a few minutes. And and once again, I want to say thank you I know you're trying to prepare words and everything that is coming during this year. So I'm excited you took time to come here, and I'm grateful. And I have
And everyone, don't hold back on the questions. Feel free to ask whatever you like. Yeah.
and I have one more question that is maybe a bit tricky. I don't know. I know some people were complaining. I mean, people complain about everything, but they were complaining about WCT being sometimes a bit slow and not organizing too many competitions. And then I feel that right now a lot of things are going on. The rule changes, the new formats, all the innovations and stuff that WCT is trying to bring. Are you trying to grow a more, let's say, professional and stable environment? Like, what is going on? Why do we have so much thing happening at the moment?
Our goal has always been the same. Yeah, we've always tried to grow the sport and be as professional as we can under the circumstances that are surrounding us. Yeah, sometimes that is not as possible to do it in the way we would like to do it for various reasons. I'm not necessarily like making an excuse for ourselves, but I'm just sort of explaining this is like the sort of situation. Like, say, for example, with the rules and that sort of thing, you have to be very careful with the rules that if you just blast out a rule too early and you haven't thought about it properly,
Mm,
then you've got something wrong, and then someone comes up with an idea that you hadn't thought about, and then you have to change the rule, and then people,
mm,
I think, get more upset by having a stupid rule that is not well thought out, that might be early, than just taking your time to do something late, but
mm,
you've thought about it, you've discussed it, you've analyzed it, and then you say, okay, now we're ready to move forward with it. Our overall goal has always been to create an environment where everybody in that environment benefits. Yeah, and that's sort of the gyms, the athletes, the crew, the people that work at World Chase Tag, and so we all benefit together. And so the way I've always looked at it is we grow the sport together. Yes, the decisions might be coming from World Chase Tag themselves, but if we all benefit, then we can all move forward together. Now, it's very difficult to do something where you keep everybody happy. Every time we make a
yeah,
decision,
sure.
there's going to
Yeah.
be someone that it doesn't suit their personal circumstances, and that's not having a
Mm,
go at that person. It's just sometimes, like, yeah, okay, I that doesn't suit me personally because of X, Y, and Z, or that doesn't suit this
mm,
person, and it's very difficult. So we try and just like divorce ourselves from like people's personal
pleasing
circumstances,
everybody.
and we just think like
Yeah.
what's best for the sport itself.
And I think it's the best way to think about a sport, because you want it to be fair, and so it shouldn't be about like one people having problem with run rules. It should be about like what's best for the sport. And I think you're heading the right way, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm super happy to see all of these changes, and I hope that after the US qualifiers and championship in the gyms, maybe we could have, I don't know, a French one, a Dutch one. I would love to see Rooftop King, etc. Maybe one in China or India or whatever, so that we could build more of these smaller championship and have people um, more invested into the sport.
Well,
So
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, the bigger the country, and the more gyms, the easier that is to do. So France could definitely like benefit from that as well. Also like China eventually, and now we have our first quad in India, and so
That's exciting. I cannot wait
yeah,
to see
I'm
how
excited
India
to
will grow.
see. Yeah, yeah, I'm really excited to see that.
So yeah, because they also have a culture of tag sports, and there's so
Yeah.
many people in India that you're gonna find some talent. So yeah, I'm super excited about this as well. About China, for the people that are here with us, in a couple of minutes, we're gonna play you an interview that we had with ParkourMAN earlier today. It was interesting. It was sometimes a bit difficult to translate everything, but you could tell that they wanted more quad, because that's one of the things that kept coming. So hopefully at some point we're going to be able to put more quads in China. And if you have India and China joining the competition, I'm guessing, the sport is going to become very, very interesting. Quad Talk
We're
is
also
saying so many
trying
quads all around the world.
we're trying really hard to get quad in like Latin America. So we got in Brazil,
Yeah,
obviously with the Volts,
yeah,
but we're really trying in Mexico and Argentina. We're working with someone
yeah.
who wants to bring like two like LATAM television channel that goes like throughout the region, but the they don't have the right clamps, and the
Mm.
import duty at the moment is really really high,
It's
and
very
this
high.
is preventing it. So we're trying to find all these different loopholes,
Yeah,
but it'd be I'd love to see more quads like in Latin America as well,
yeah. I would love
and
to see that too.
and Africa as well is hopefully we're in talks with someone who's on the verge of getting something in Africa. So hopefully that will go ahead, and then
Yep,
we'll see.
yep. Well, thank you again for your time. And for you guys, we will be back right after a very short
So
break
no one had any
for the
questions?
interview with ParkourMAN.
I couldn't. The
Apparently, no.
questions. No. Okay.
No, they were talking about like different player changes. But yeah, if you
I
have any
got
more
off lightly.
questions,
I
we
got
can
off lightly.
always like bring you back on the show at some point and talk about
That'll be good.
it. See you soon, guys.
Thank you very much.
Well, welcome back. I'm seeing in the chat that some of you were asking question to Christian. We're gonna send him all the questions, and as soon as we have his answer, we will let you know. Right now, what you're about to see is an interview we filmed earlier with ParkourMAN. It was too late for them to come during this live, and also it gave us more time to translate every question properly, and they had more time thinking about it, replying, etc. I know it's not as great as having them live, but they're not native in English, so sometimes the language barrier made things a little bit more tricky, and it was better for us to pre-record this interview. I'm going to be there after the interview. If you have any more questions, hopefully we'll be able to bring them back in the future. And so we're going to send them all of the questions. And yeah, enjoy the interview and see you after. So welcome, guys. I know Chase That fan know you quite well in China, obviously, but most of the people outside of China discovered you during World Chase That 6, WCT 6. So for the people that might not know you, could you briefly introduce yourself?
I will start the interviews, introduce our team. And our team members include three professional parkour athletes. The other three have different jobs. Like Logan is a carpenter, Fanbin is a policeman, and Yue is a trampoline coach. And I have two-time parkour job. And yeah, here's the funny thing: the average of our team members is all around 30 years old. We might be the oldest team of World Tag team.
That's true. So where did you guys meet each other? Was it because of Chase Tag, or did you meet each other because of parkour or other events?
Yeah, we have already known each other for parkour competition or some TV shows. Yeah, and
Okay,
yeah, we are good friends.
that's the most important thing. Um, so you guys already won 4 championships in China. So I'm guessing you're quite comfortable playing with the people around there and the teams around there. But last year it was your first ever international competition. Did you feel any extra pressure facing like new opponents, new countries, and all of this?
Yes, this is the first time for us to join the international event of World Series Tag. We feel a bit nervous and excited. However, most members of team have joined in some international parkour competitions before, and have some experience in facing
Okay,
opponent opponents from different countries. Yeah, and like Fangbin, Li Qi, and me, we were uh, invited by Netflix to join
okay,
some competition like Ninja Warriors. Yeah,
okay.
we went to United States. Yeah.
So yeah, so if one of you guys could translate the question to Logan, it,
罗刚，你感觉就是这是你第一次参加国际比赛，你觉得面对国外的对手时，你是什么样的心情？
当时心情非常激动，也很紧张，然后剩下的就是大脑有点空白，也不知道自己在想什么。
It's okay.
Logong said that it was his first time competing internationally.
okay,
He was really excited, but also really nervous at the same time. And then also at the same time, his mind completely blank. It almost
okay,
just like shut off. Yeah.
okay. During the competition?
反正就一过去就感觉有紧张，有兴奋，然后比的时候就有点空白了。
Oh, okay. So yeah, throughout the process, he was excited, he was happy, he was nervous, but through the competition, his brain was just blank, and he just did what he had to do. Yeah.
Okay. So for both of you guys, how did you find the level of competition compared to what you're used to in China?
This competition is extremely challenging for us. On the hand, we don't have a World Chess Tag pod in China.
Okay.
We only borrow the WCT code for training 1 week before going to Paris.
Okay.
So the time we have is very short. We hope to have more time for parkour chasing training. 罗刚，那个你觉得跟老外比赛的时候，你感觉这个比赛的难度大不大？
我觉得难度挺大的。
Yeah, yeah.
然后基本上都
Logan
是用尽
says,
全力去。
yeah, Logan says, he try him best to attend this competition. Yeah, because this is a first time to went to abroad to attend the competition.
So that was my next question. Was it your first time outside of China? So you told me no, because you went on different TV shows and stuff, but it was the first time of Logan
Yeah,
outside of China, right? Did you enjoy the
yeah, yeah.
experience? Did
It
you?
is. Logan, 你喜欢这次去国外比赛的经历吗？因为这是你第一次去国外参加比赛。
非常喜欢，真的非常喜欢。我
Yeah, he feel
我
excited.
我觉得这是我人生当中就是不可多得的一次经历。
He thought this is a good experience of him life to attend the competition.
That's nice. So only two teams were coming from Asia and only one from China. Did you feel any extra pressure, like representing your region or your country, coming to WCT6?
I believe it's nothing special, but COVID-19 because COVID-19, um, actually maybe 3 or 4 years ago, we had the chance to go to abroad to join World Chess Tag international competition. So we have already waited for many years to join this competition. So we wanted to do my our best.
Okay. So 2 weeks
Mm.
ago, we discovered some footage from the Chinese championship that isn't available on YouTube, and we heard for the first time about your rivalry between you and Link Parkour. What is your relationship with the player from Link Parkour? Are you guys friends? Are you like
Yeah.
rivals?
Um, yeah, actually, we are a good friend with Link, and
Okay,
also Link provide provides a club in China. Yeah, we huge
okay,
thank you for Link, and yeah, we did a lot of popular TV show or some movie uh together
together.
with Link.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. We
We
are good
also saw
friend.
that you kept winning against Link Parkour. Do you think at any point they're gonna find a way to reach your level, or are they doomed?
Link has a Link has a good parkour athlete, obviously, and but ParkourMAN teammates have a different sports
Background.
skill.
Okay, okay,
Lychee is a climber. Yeah, he do a lot of climb, and the ninja warrior skills.
okay,
So I think I think have a I think we have a different skill are important.
okay.
Yeah.
So it helps you.
Yeah.
Um, so you faced different countries during WCT7. You faced France, Japan, Switzerland, and the United States, if I'm correct. Which region seemed the strongest in your opinion? And I would like to have both of
It's
your opinion on that question.
I'll translate. 就 WCT
Okay.
6的时候，你们针对了好几个不同的地区的团队，比如法国、美国、瑞士等等。你们感觉哪个地区有最厉害的那些团队？然后他想定
I
个
think America.
呃
I think
So,
American as a
okay.
as a the strongest World Chess Tag team, especially Olavi free runner, and
Okay.
we have learned many new world chess techniques, and those techniques we have never seen before.
Okay.
They have been of great helps to us.
And what
那罗
about
刚，你觉得
Logan?
呢？
那个
咱们对阵了日本、
我
法国、美国和瑞士。
法国就
法国
被
，yeah,
4-0
French,
办的那次
French.
好惨。
Does it mean France?
你
Fargo.
帮，yeah, yeah, yeah,
Let's go.
we
I like you.
and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously French has the most parkour world chess tag team in the world. I believe high-level free runner, yeah, has the biggest parkour skills of world chess tag.
So, did it change anything in the way you're playing chess tag overall to come outwards and face new countries?
I think first of all we need a quad to train. Yeah. Uh, yeah. So if there's no any fault, we will not be able to make progress.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, I was going to ask you how do you plan to prepare for the next international competitions, and maybe that's part of the answer. You need a quad.
Yeah. Buy a quad first.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
So what is your goal as a team moving forward now? Do you want to, I don't know, win worlds? Do you want to have a new generation of athletes representing ParkourMAN? Like, what is the plan for the future?
这个我听懂了，罗刚，那个你有什么目标吗？接下来对咱们的团队去参加比赛啊，或者什么，有什么目标吗？
你们自己的团队有没有目标当世界冠军，或者培养一个下一代的跑酷侠团队？
哇，如果说是目标的话，肯定是有这
你说吧
个奋斗的目标啊，肯定是想要就是为祖国争光啊，也肯定是想啊。
His hope is to become world champion, to
Let's
represent
go.
China, become the world champion.
Let's go. Let's go. So are you training at the moment, preparing for the next worlds?
No. Wait. There's no quad. But
maybe you can,
yeah.
I don't know, maybe you can run or do something. I don't know.
Yeah. It's true. We will keep our parkour skills.
So I was going to say, Kyle mentioned it earlier, but your match against APK Blue is one of the most performing video in their channel, recently, athletes from WCT 6. And your match generated millions of views, if I'm correct, on Bilibili during Words, etc. Do you feel the support of the country behind you, or are you living away from social medias?
支持。我
就
觉得
support。
我觉得就是看到我们在法国对阵这个就好多国家的这个队伍，然后对，Okay.
I have no idea what you guys are saying. I'm sorry, I still don't speak Chinese.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's my bad.
You started to answer the question in Chinese.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. Obviously, there are many people in China support our team to attend this competition. We feel excited about that. Yeah, and we are looking forward this year, World Chess Tag competition.
其实我想说什么吧，就比完之后回来吧，我觉得能够给孩子做个榜样，反正孩子也看了那个视频，然后可喜欢我们的那个队服了。 另外就是那场比赛，其实不是我一个人的努力，是我们团队所有人的努力。
Luogang wants to express that he was really excited for the competition, and coming back after it, he was able to kind of show his team clothing, and his kids were able to watch it, and he feels to have done what he did. And then also to note that it wasn't, although a lot of us remember him because he's the guy who exploded his head in that match, and he
Makes
still
sense.
came out and got some really good chases going on. But it wasn't him. It was the whole team was supporting each other, and the result of their team was because of everybody on the team.
Could you translate if they're actually like looking at what people are saying on social medias or not at all? Because a lot of people were very impressed by his performance, especially with, you know, the blood and stuff, and he had a lot of support from people that were coming outside of China.
裸刚他想问你，因为看了那个WCT6之后，其实很多人都开始关注，因为你的表现比较有意思，比较有特色，就爆头了，然后也一直在抓到人，也在拿分几分，所以他想问。就网上你看视频评论，你会不会关注视频评论，或者有没有意识到这些观众的一些支持？
我有看，然后那天晚上12点，我本来想睡了，然后刷到了自己的那个刷到那个视频了，看完了之后我就头皮发麻，当天晚上就是没睡，然后2个小时之后才睡着的。然后其实看到那些评论，有人在下边夸我。哔哩哔哩
哪个视频？哔哩哔哩。我先
对，哔哩哔哩就是看的那个，就是当时准备睡了，然后别人发给我了，说你火了，然后看了。当时本来有点睡觉，然后过去把那个视频一看之后，激动了2个小时没睡着。
He was preparing to go to sleep one night, and then someone sent him the link to the Billy video, and was like, "Hey, you've gone viral," and he just got totally invested into it and watching the video again and looking at all the comments, and he couldn't sleep for another 2 hours because of the excitement of everything.
Let's go.
然后我将那个视频又从头，我将那个视频从头看到尾，然后那个时候我真的觉得我们团队每个人付出的每个人都非常努力。那不只是我一个人，就每一个人都是为了这个团队在努力啊！只是我可能就是技术不好，然后就碰到脑袋了。
So he rewatched it a bunch of times, and after seeing it, he knew that the whole team worked well together. It wasn't just him, even though he had the cut on his head. That was just what made it obvious, but actually the whole team was working well together.
Yeah, makes sense. I can see, Zed, that you have a Red Bull logo here. Are you sponsored by Red Bull? Should we make ParkourMAN the first, chase that team sponsored by Red Bull?
No, actually, I just have a good relationship with Red Bull of China. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
We didn't sign contract with them.
So yeah, maybe we should try to reach out to them. So yeah, I'm guessing that's all I had to ask right now. Thank you again for coming, and yeah, I'm excited to see you back for the next competition. I will wear my ParkourMAN jersey because before words I was saying to the WCT team that they should share more footage of what is happening in China. So I was super happy to see that you guys did well, And yeah, I cannot wait to see you on the quad again. And I love Logan's energy. I have no idea what he said, but I like the vibe. So yeah, thank you again. And hopefully see you soon on the quad.
Thank you. We'll be back soon.
Thank you.
I need to work on my Chinese. How do we say bye in Chinese?
再见.
Yeah, you could say 再见.
再见.
Yeah.
再见. 再见, like bye bye.
Okay.
Or you can say bye bye. Yeah.
Bye bye. Yeah,
works
maybe
also.
that's easier for me. Loic is asking, how do you say chaser and evader in Chinese?
Chasing is 追逐者 chaser.
That's hard. Okay.
And
Evader.
Evader is 逃脱者 逃跑者.
Okay. I need to remember that,
躲避者.
and next time we see each other, I will use them. I will use that.
I'll send it to you.
Let's go. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you a lot. Thank you a lot.
Welcome back, guys. We're live again. Yeah, so that was earlier. Well, the video was playing. I saw that a lot of things were happening in the chat. That Chai is there for the tea, and we're gonna give you all the tea you want in the next part of the show. I need to work on my Chinese. I do need to work on my Chinese because I murdered their language so much that I'm guessing their ancestors are probably trying to locate my house to haunt me. That was quite terrible. But yeah, I might be biased. But I heard that France is the best region. I'm sorry for my American friends. And yes, chase and evader in Chinese is super hard. I didn't dare to say it. I was like, I'm gonna absolutely murder the language. We asked Kai to send us the words. We're gonna put them at some point on Instagram if you want to practice your Chinese before the next World Championship. I don't know. If you have any more questions for Mr. Christian Devaux that was there earlier, he told us that he could reply to all of these. So feel free to send us all the questions. And in a couple of minutes, we're going to show you all of the rosters from the US Championship. So I'm super excited about that. But yeah, I'm guessing that's pretty much it. Maybe we should try to move on to the rosters soon. Also, we're gonna hopefully we're gonna be able to share some of the footage from the Chinese Championship. Last week we did watch a couple of matches here. No, it was 2 weeks ago. We had Kyle and Martino from the Chinese teams, and they were giving us a lot of bad stories about the athletes and the rivalry between ParkourMAN and Lean Parkour, which are kind of the Apex versus Hollywood of China. Oh, we do have some footage. That's exciting. So yeah, for those of you that weren't there, you're going to be able to go on our YouTube channel and watch the live we had. There is a lot of footage. They had amazing places. The championships were great. So yeah, I'm excited to see more events from China. But as he was saying, they're apparently lacking quads. And they might not be the only team with that problem. Frank in the chat was saying the same thing. And I do agree with the Monkey Chaser. ParkourMAN versus Overground was a classic. That was a very, very exciting match. And hopefully we will get a rematch at some point, maybe during WCT 7. So yeah, if you have any questions for ParkourMAN, if you have any questions for Mr. Christian Devaux, once again, feel free to send them to us. The UK also need a quad. That's very true. Coming from War Chase Tag, that is very true. If we can do anything to help you with that, let us know. But yeah, the more quads we're gonna have in every country, the better it will be. I'm guessing it's gonna give people a place to train. So yeah, we're gonna go for a very short break, and after that we're gonna review all of the rosters from the US Championship. So it's going to be time for tea. We're going to be able to make predictions and all of that. So yeah, be there. 这两个区域呢，我们不仅仅是现场的运动人员，以及是我们的所有的来宾，都可以去到我们舞台的两边来进行体力的补充和体能的测试。非常感谢各位。开点。接下来，让我们有请出我们的跑酷侠的有请。好，跑酷侠可能还没休息好。来，请我们的冠亚军队伍吧，这一定是冠亚军，对不对？是的，没错。有请我们的冠亚军队伍先互相拥抱，然后来。请一起面向我们的正前方。现在庆祝还有点。Okay, now it's time for the tea. Quad Talk was telling me check your Instagram DM when you will have time. Please, Quad Talk, do not send me any nudes. I don't want them. It's inappropriate. I would appreciate. Can we start with the rosters? Just bring the first team. I'm guessing maybe it's 215 if we go in the alphabetical order. There you go, the roster of 215, only players that already played either in Pan Am's or the US Championship. I'm super excited to see 215. The only thing that I'm worried about is that they only have 4 players, which might be, you know, a difficult thing to deal with, considering the fact that they're gonna play a lot of matches in the East Coast qualifier. But all of these players have experience and they spend a lot of time coming to smaller events in Dexterity or in Nix. So I'm guessing that's a team you shouldn't sleep on, and yeah, I'm super excited to see what they're gonna do. Yeah. Like Chai is saying, 4 players is tough. And yes, I'm not sure how I should say his name. If I'm butchering any name, I am sorry. Jose Mut or Jose Mut, I don't know, is back. That's true. Liam was... so Liam was supposed to play with 215. He was an alternate of 215, but right before the beginning of the Pan Am Championship, the captain of Holo had to leave, and so they asked if they could bring Liam in their roster so he could play the competition with them. That's why he ended up playing with Holo in Pan Am's, but he's part of 215. Originally, he's part of 215. Oh, wait, there is a message birthday. Whose birthday is it? Is it Christian or Damien's birthday? If so, well, you know, happy birthday. I'm sorry, I'm late. I'm terrible with birthdays. And who wants nudes here? Well, not me, but if you can find some people that want some in the chat, well, then free to talk to these people. Can we move on to the next team? Which team is it going to be? Oh, okay. So that's APK Grey. They got rebranded in Aero, I'm guessing that's the name. Frank was there in the chat earlier. He told us that both APK teams are trying to distance themselves from the APK branding. There is no beef, no nothing. If you have any tea about anything, feel free to tell us, Frank, because we're always you know, good clients of these. But yeah, most of the players from the APK Great team will be there. We have 2 new players that I didn't see in any competition, so I have no idea what to expect. But I would say this is a solid roster. All of these guys, you know, are not doing this for the first time, so yeah, the team should probably be good. Oh, and that's Damien's birthday, so happy birthday, Damien. Joyeux anniversaire, like we say here in France. And I do like the logo as well, and the name is quite cool. Yeah, like Clément is saying, the background colors of each slide are the team colors. So here their jersey should be yellow and Gray. Need to switch Ryan and Sasha name. Wait, did they make something? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, guys, please, could you put the correct names on the correct person, please? So yeah, can we move on to the next roster? Yeah, I know. Well, you know, mistakes will happen. I'm gonna murder some names as well. Apex Moon. So apparently, Apex Moon and Sun just merged, and so from now on it's gonna be Apex Moon only, if I am correct. So that's the roster of Apex Moon. I was surprised not to see Sliger. I was surprised not to see Damien Zoomtobel as well. Overall, they have a very solid roster still. Yeah, there is no Sliger. I know. But you know, the rest of the team, like Olaf, Rob, etc., they're part of the players that are so much experience. So the question is, are they going to be able to do like ParkourMAN and win the US Championship for the fourth time? That's my big question. But no Sliger, no Luti. So yeah, Luti will come back and play in the future, but apparently he won't be part of Apex Moon. I have no idea what to expect from the new player, Jan. I don't think he ever played any chase tag competitions, so we will see. But I'm guessing like all of the players that Apex ever brought to the table are solid players. So you know, I'm not too afraid of Apex. I would be surprised if they're not in the top 4 in this competition. I'm guessing. Some people are saying Luti on Nimbus. Who knows? We will give you the Nimbus roster a little bit later. Can we move on to the next team, please? I stand for Nimbus. That's what Quatok is saying. So Apollo is also another rebranding. It's Olo, pretty much, coming with a new team, a new name. They don't have Roland anymore. They don't have their old captain, Stephen McCarthy, if I'm correct. I might be wrong on the name. That was a very solid player, but Fernando is back to the competition. Shane Higgins did well in the US Championship and he's back. You know, they have a bunch of new players. So yeah, we will see. The only thing with that team is that I am not sure if any of these players took part in any competitions in the last couple of years. I think most of them played for the last time maybe at Pan Am's, and Pan Am's was, I don't know, more than 2 years ago. So are they going to be able to compete with teams that are coming to competitions regularly? I have no idea. Kitson is back. Yes, he is. And Emik was a badass at WCT USA in 2020. Okay, so Kitson as well. Okay, well, you know, hopefully we'll be able to come back and do a good performance. But since 2020, the game changed a lot and people became a lot more precise on what they were doing when it comes to strategy or even skills, like the technical skills, like diving, setting traps, whatever. So we will see. I have no idea what to expect from that team, but yeah, I'm excited to see them on the quad. So can we move on to the next one? Is it going to be Nimbus? Is it going to be Atlanta? Okay, so this one is a very interesting one in my opinion for a few reasons. First of all, they don't have Sukan anymore, which is, in my opinion, one of the best players in the world. So I was surprised not to see him there. JB is back, and Gabe, both of them are very consistent and serious players. They keep training, so I think they're going to do good. But they also have one player from Rise, one player from Hub PTC, if I'm correct, a new player. They don't have Mats anymore. Like, there is so many changes and heavy changes in that team that I have no idea what to expect. Sukan, so Shay is asking if Sukan is on any team. I cannot tell you yet. I do not know. You will see the slide, but he's not playing for Atlanta, and I think he was one of the strongest player of the team and one of the key players. So we will see. Hub PTC, that's it. Where's Parsha from? APK Gray, I'm guessing. Or oh no. Hub PTC. Sorry. So yeah, that's a team that only played one championship. I think it was the championship in 2020. So yeah, all player, same thing. I have no idea if he trained recently on the quad and what to expect from his level. Can we move on to the next team? What do we have now? Dexterity. Well, no major surprises in that team. I don't really see any weak points in that team. All of the players are coming to all of the competitions. They even came in Europe to play, which is the only US team that did this. They got Roland, which nowadays is one of the strongest players as well. Like all of their players are quite good. I would be very surprised if Dexterity is not in the top 4. There's nothing very surprising or new about the team, but yeah, very solid roster overall, and I'm always excited to see them back on the quad. Jordan is back. The only thing that I don't know is who's going to be playing the 6 players that are actually going to compete, and who's going to be the alternate. Oh no, it's written on the I don't know how to read apparently. So team is going to be the alternate, and that's what I was going to say, because I know that team will be helping organizing the competition as well. I think it's very difficult when you're working on the org of a comp to actually play and have your mind, really focused on the competition. So yeah, okay, some people are already having some prediction. Shay is saying the Dexterity versus Nimbus finals. That could be something. It's possible. Yeah, Geo returns. I'm very excited about this as well. So yeah, that's something that sounds possible in my opinion. Well, let's move on to the next team. Who do we have next? Nimbus, which is the old APK Blue. Sukan is not there, Jarrod is not there, but they have the same roster of very, very solid and experienced players. Except the rebranding, everything here is quite expected, I would say, and I would be surprised if Nimbus doesn't finish top 3, I would say, from the US. All of these guys are creative, talented, passionate about the sport. They work hard. Yeah, like Frank is saying, if it ain't broke, why should you change it? Like all of these guys are doing an amazing job, and every time they keep reaching semifinals or finals, sometimes in the smaller events or even at Pan Ams and stuff. They took 3rd place, if I'm correct, or 4th place. No, I think it was 3rd place. Am I correct? If I'm wrong, you guys feel free to correct me. But yeah, always there, always doing a good job. So I'm excited to see them win. Hey PK, who? Nimbus. Yeah, it doesn't work anymore. But I'm sure they can find another creative thing so that they could hype the crowd. Honestly, it would be funny. Yeah. So, well, if you need someone to carry your bottles, Frank, apparently Quad Talk would love to do that. So, yeah, very solid team. I'm excited to see them. Let's move on to the next roster. What do we have? Nyx. Okay, so Nyx is a very interesting one. First of all, I don't know if it's my role to say anything about this, but what happened to their logo? What is this? The old logo was nice. But anyway, let's talk about the roster. Matthew coming here. I'm excited. So for the people that don't know, Matthew is a coach in the Nyx gym. So, that's his hometown gym, I would say. I'm super excited to see him because I feel like he's one of, once again, the best player in the world, but also one player that doesn't really have enough recognition because he's always doing a great job. but he's in a team where you have stars, if I may say, and so people often forget about him. So that's a good opportunity for him to show what he's capable of. Nick and Michael Fraser are very interesting athletes, very good ones, and I think they did an amazing job at the December comp that happened at the Niche gym. Both of them very fast, very good in what they're doing. But the player, I think Thomas is implying this new logo isn't. Yeah. That's kind of what I was saying. The player that I'm mostly excited about is Michael Johnson. You guys might not know him, but he's a very good ninja athlete, etc. That is also running the gym, and he's such a beast. Like, he's super tall, fit, strong, and he's very scary. When he's running after you on the quad, I swear it's terrifying. Like, you need to imagine a big guy running like you behind you, and it's very funny. So I'm excited to see how he's going to perform in the team. I don't know the new guy, so same thing. I'm not sure if he was part of any competitions in the past, so we will see what he's going to do. But overall, I feel like Nits could be one of the contenders for the top, 4 teams with Dexterity, Nimbus, Apex, etc. Can we move on to the next team? A lot of evasion potential, yes. Tempest, the Tempest comeback. So yeah, I'm excited to see that team. They don't have Kai anymore because obviously Kai now is playing with Hollywood Freerunner, but they pretty much have the same roster. Nico is back, Joe is back, Brett, Sean, etc. Hunter is back. These guys are so lovely, and they're training hard as well. So I'm curious to see, because we didn't see much from them since Pan Am's, and I have no idea if they were training really hard on some new tech, etc. Yes, I agree. Hunter and Joe are always fun to watch, like super fun. They have a lot of speed, a lot of weird dives. So yeah. Brian, okay. So Frank knows Brian apparently. Maybe he can tell us if Brian is good, if he saw him on the quad, what to expect. The mustache wonder himself. Well, apparently that's the infos we have. I do not know, but I would assume it's the same one. Holy, yep, okay. So I'm guessing we should be hyped about Brian, if we believe Frank. So yeah, I think overall the roster is going to do good. I think they're going to qualify from the West Coast qualifier. So I'm super excited to see them. Like, always lovely. I would love to have them on the podcast at some point. So yeah, let's move on to the next team. Parkour Legend. Okay, he's a Parkour Legend. So these 3 teams, Schedule 1, Vanguard, and I might destroy their name, Second State Skunks? I'm guessing that's how we say it, are 3 new teams. Schedule 1 was there in the December comp. They did good. I think Second State Skunks have the best logo, in my opinion. I'm super excited to see them play. Oh, Nico is there. Well, maybe before the West Coast qualifier or right after, I don't know, we should have you at some point. And for the finals, I'm going to come to the US with Loic and some other people from the team, because we're going to help organize a bigger live event. So I would love to have you there, in the same room. That could be nice to have you on the podcast. So feel free to come at any point. Anyway, these 3 teams, I have no clue how good they're going to do. I know that Schedule 1 did a good job, and they seem to care about chase type, so I would expect them to do decent during the competitions. I have no idea if they're going to do better or worse than other teams, like teams like Hollows or whatever. Apollo, no. But yeah, I'm excited to see that. So now what I would love to do with you guys, if we can have a list with the different teams, that would be nice to, I don't know, try to guess who's gonna finish first, second, third, etc. of each competition, and in the finals, and then in a couple of weeks, the qualifiers, we can take the list all together and see if we were good, at guessing the future. I would love to do that. Do we have a list with all the logos or something like this that you guys could bring? East Coast, Apollo, Vanguard, Tempest, Schedule 1, and Apex Moon. Okay, so from the East Coast Championship, what do we think? Do you think Tempest could take Apex? Do you think, Apollo? Well, my first guess would be, I might be biased. Maybe I would love to see Tempest, but I would say maybe it's gonna be Apex, Tempest. Then maybe Schedule 1, they could be surprising, and then Vanguard, I have no idea. And Apollo, it's a bit weird. So Shay is saying the Apex roster is a bit deeper. Fair enough. But also they have a lot of new players. Some of them only played like one comp. Some of them are brand new. And I think Tempest has a lot more experience. So maybe it could help. Tempest can do anything first place. I mean, you're obviously biased, so you're gonna say that. But yeah, you can vote under the comment and give us your list, and let's try to find a result that will suit everybody. Once again, I would put maybe Vanguard last just because I don't know their players. Oh, wait. Is it the team where Hunter from Hotshots was playing? I think he's playing in Vanguard. So maybe they can surprise it. Okay, so that's the team where Hunter from Hotshots is playing. Lovely dude, by the way. Absolutely lovely dude. So they could surprise people. Okay, let's try to be neutral. I would love to say Tempest first. Maybe we're gonna put Apex first, just because they're the team that pretty much won all of the US championships until now. So it would not be fair not to put them first. So let's say Apex, in my opinion, Tempest, Schedule 1 maybe, Apollo, and that's unfair. Apollo and Vanguard maybe at last place. I don't know. What are you guys saying? You're rooting for Tempest. Yes. Apex will probably do better than expected because the nerves could be. Yes. So, well, yes, but also because these qualifiers are going to happen in 2 gyms, you have less people coming, which also means less pressure. I'm guessing for the finals, that might be a bit different, and it could be something that have quite an impact. But for the qualifiers, maybe, I don't know, 20 people will be there, 30 people will be there, I don't know. And I don't know how much it's gonna change the way you're performing on the quad. Tempest always have a pretty consistent roster. Yes, they do all have a lot of experience. Apollo number 5. Okay, Vanguard has more quad time than Schedule 1. Okay. I don't know anything about this, so I'm gonna believe you're correct on this. So then maybe we're gonna say Apex, Tempest, Vanguard, Schedule 1, and Apollo, which means that if only the top 3 is qualifying, the qualifying team would be Tempest, Apex, and Vanguard. Okay, can we have the blah blah blah? Yep, that's what people are saying. That's our list for the West Coast qualifier. We're gonna keep that somewhere. Can we have the other 7 teams? Maybe you have the map with all of the teams coming. Maybe that could be better to display this. And let's review all of the teams from the East Coast, which in my opinion is going to be a lot more tense because you have a lot of very good teams coming. So yeah. Nico, how the F did you get Brian or Roscoe? I don't want to offend anybody by butchering their name. That's a very good question. How did you get Brian? And so from the East Coast, we have the previous APK Gray roster, Aero. From Pennsylvania, we have 215, Dexterity, Second State Quonks, which might be the second team of Dexterity. Maybe I'm correct, maybe not. Nimbus is going to come, and the Knicks and the Talons. So, for me, well, I would say I would be extremely surprised if Dexterity, Nimbus, and probably Knicks are not, the top three of the event. I would be very surprised. Atlanta Talon is an odd one. I think they're gonna do good, but I don't know, if they're gonna do great, and so therefore I would put them a little bit lower than the three teams I mentioned. Dexterity, Nimbus, Nits in that order. I don't know. I can also see a word where it's Nimbus, Dexterity, or even Knicks. Knicks have a very solid team. If you take the December comp they did, they only had Matthew, Michael, and Nick, and they did reach the finals. So, for me, these three teams are kind of at the same level, and depending on the form they have, when they're going to come in the competition and what happened in the first day, because this competition is also on 2 days. So how do you manage the fatigue level? I think all of these can have a big difference. So yes, I don't know if I should call you 1011 EV. There is on the West Coast there is only 5 teams, and on the East Coast there is 7 teams. On the West Coast only 3 teams are going to qualify, and on the East Coast 5 teams are going to qualify. Yeah, so that we have 8 teams for the finals. The ranking from so Loic is there. Okay, he's saying 1 Dexterity, 2 Knicks, 3 Nimbus, 4 Aero, then 5 215 Talents and Skunks. That's a solid prediction. Well, for me, it's difficult. The top 3, I feel like it's so hard because I can see Knicks finishing top 1. I can see Nimbus finishing top 1. For the rest, I kind of agree. I think 215, if they only have 4 players, okay? But if 215 are able to keep some energy for the last day, I can see them finish top 4. But I think, 6 and 7 will be the Talons and then the Skunks. I also agree. Is Christian still there? What's Christian prediction? That's a very good question. And are the qualifier round robins, then semi-finals, or just round robin? I'm quite sure it's only round robins. Every team is going to play against every team. And that's pretty much it, which means that on the West Coast qualifier, we have 10 matches. On the East Coast qualifier, it is 21 matches, if someone can correct me. So yeah, pretty much each team you're facing, if you win 3 points, if it's, perfect. So 10 matches on the West Coast, and on the East Coast, 21 matches. I was correct. So every time you face a team, if you win 3 points, if you win through sudden death, 2 points, if you lose in sudden death, 1 point, and if you lose, 0 points. And then at the end of the day, the top 5 teams with the biggest number of points will qualify to the final. 215 are not a fun team to watch, yes, and I do love their mindset when you speak with them outside of the events and stuff. So if that's our final prediction, it means that the finals would be Knicks, Nimbus, Dexterity, what did we say, Aero, and what was the 5th team? 215. And then from the other side we would have Tempest, Apex, and Vanguard. And so now the most tricky question is, with these 8 teams, which teams are going to qualify to Worlds? What is our top 3 between all of these teams? What do you guys think? I think, so yeah, NITS, Nimbus, Dets, Apex, Tempest, Aero, and Vanguard. I think the top teams from the East might be and should probably be the top teams from the finals. I think Nimbus, Dexterity, etc. are probably the strongest teams at the moment. But we didn't see Tempest since Panams, which was a very long time ago. So they could surprise us. And I feel like a lot of people are always done playing Apex, always saying like, yeah, I don't think they're that great, etc. But Apex always won and always did a good job. So I think they should always be part of the conversation. So Shay is saying the top 3 from all are Dexterity, Nimbus, and Nyx. Okay, so nobody from the West. Okay. Quad Talk is saying Nimbus, Dexterity, and Tempest. I could see that. I could see that too. What about you, Frank? What do you think? Jim is saying it's tied between NITS, Dexterity, Nimbus, Tempest, and Apex. Yeah, I think for me the top 3 will be someone, between these 5 teams. And I don't think it's going to be that much of a clear cut. I really believe that depending on who's feeling it on the day, we could have surprises. Like if you tell me, oh, it's going to be, I don't know, Nyx, Dexterity, Nimbus, I can be like, oh yeah, I can see that. If you tell me it's going to be Nimbus, Tempest, and Apex, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I can see that. So that's the very difficult one. Frank is saying Nimbus, Dexterity, Apex, and Nyx. Okay, fair enough. Apex does have Rob again, yes, and Rob is one of the most consistent and one of the best players. Like he's doing amazing. I was surprised not to see Damien, because for those of you that weren't there, last week we were with Kyle Soderman. We checked all of the stats of the official competitions, previous competitions, etc. And there is a player that I was very surprised about. It's Damien Zuntobel. He was top 2 or 3, I don't remember correctly, of the players that actually played the most in official competitions. And so he's one of the guys with the most experience. And yeah, I thought he was going to be part of the roster. I knew that Jarod was probably not going to play with them anymore, because I might be wrong, but at some point they were talking about creating a Rise team with Jarod and other players that weren't part of any rosters. People like Carson or who was there, Isaac, things like that. These players weren't in any rosters, so I don't know what happened with Rise. I don't know if it's a decision where they're going to be waiting for next year, etc. But yeah, some of the big players were missing, and it does change something in the Apex team not to have Jarod and Damien, etc. Word Chase Tag is saying there could be some surprising though, as there might some people with a lot of behind the scenes squad experience. Yes, indeed. That's why I feel like the teams like Dexterity, like Nyx, that have access to a quad can spend a lot of time like practicing and training, and it can make such huge difference. For instance, if you take Kai Baldwin, before the Panams, for most people he was completely new at Panams, but before the Panams he spent a lot of time on the quad with Carl Soderman and Amos. Everybody was at the NITS gym and they were training a lot. And so when Panams happened, I remember telling Dan, oh, you should talk about that player, because nobody's expecting him to do good, but I think he's going to do good because he spent so much time on the quad. And so for me, it's the same thing with Michael, Fraser, with Matthew, etc. Like all of these people that are consistently spending a lot of time on the quad, it can make a huge difference. Show the UK roster next. Well, we're not going to give you any roster from the top 8 now. But in the next couple of weeks, maybe a little bit more, I don't know, we're going to give you all of the rosters from the top 8. But at the moment, we can't show you any information because we don't want to be unfair for all the teams competing. So it's going to be for later. It's going to come though. Don't worry about it. Maybe some people are there as their head coach. Who knows? That is true. Maybe some old players are actually coaching some teams. We do not have that information. But yeah, I'm quite excited about these championships. I'm also excited to see how it's gonna change the scene. The fact that local gyms are going to be able to organize national events, I think it can really create a lot of new stories and give us a lot more footage and things to be excited about. As I said earlier, when Mr. Christian Devaux was with us, I'm super excited to see, for instance, a championship in the Netherlands, because now they have 2 gyms that are not far away from each other, and I think it can create some good rivalries, or maybe some kind of Benelux event where we could add trauma tracers and other teams that are still training a lot. I would love to see the same thing for France, where we have so many teams and new quads incoming, etc. I like the sconce. I love their logos. I swear I love their logos. I feel like that's one of the coolest logos in the World Chase Tag. So yeah, I'm super excited to meet all of these new people, see all of these new teams, and see what's coming. This week there is a jam in Rotterdam. That's what Talk telling us this. So you should come. If you're next to Rotterdam, I'm guessing you can come and spend some time around there. I won't be there, but if you guys have any footage or videos or whatever of the jam afterwards, feel free to send it to us. And yeah, that was all of the rosters. We did keep track of all the predictions. And after each event, then we're going to be able to check what we thought was going to happen and the reality, and see if these 2 things are matching. 19-second chases. Is it what you want, Shai, in the future? I think 20 are good. I don't think we should change this. I would love to see, I said that many times, but I would love to see more 32 matches of Chase Tag, where you would have halfway and then you only bring 4 people, and then you can change at the halfway so it brings another layer of strategy, etc. But yeah, no, let's want funky rules. Yes, well, we could put traps on the quads. We could put fire if you get out. There is so much we can do, for sure. Maybe one day we should try one competition with weird rules. Anyway, so I'm guessing that's all for today. Next week, and I know it's gonna be interesting for some of you guys. Next week, we're gonna have someone that was part of the World Chase Tag for a very long time. And we're going to talk about a lot of things that could be exciting. For instance, like the cards. Where are we with the cards? Are they coming, etc.? And he's also going to give us a lot of stories about, many old things that he worked on. So it's going to be cool. Sounds like Mr. Beast Chase Tag. Yes, it does. Maybe we should do this, or the... how is it called? Squid Game of Chase Tag, if you get tagged, you get out of the quad and you get shoot or something, bring stakes at the competitions. Either you win, either you die. So yeah, thank you all for coming. If you want to have more news about Chase Tag, same thing as always, every week, same time here. We're going to make sure that all of the shows are now 3-part shows. 3 parts of half an hour, so we keep it short for you, entertaining for you, and we bring the best guests that we can. Thank you for coming. Once again, next week, we're going to have Martis to talk about cards. We're going to have, apparently Damien Devaux is also going to be there next week to talk with us. So yeah, you should come if you love Chase Tag. And thank you again for coming. That was all for me, and have a lovely week.
Say hi.